Welcome to Post-Match. I am here with your new board game champion, Owen.
3 for 3.
You have a perfect score of attendance to wins on this channel. Some would call it a streak. I won't because I don't want to jinx you.
That's okay. I know I'm an elite gamer, online or in person.
Before we get started on the rankings for this game, what are your initial thoughts on it? This is the first time you've played it, I think.
It is. So I think that if it was like modernized a little bit with more, known characters for like when I was growing up more, then I think it would be, like a little bit better. But that's not the game's fault when it was made. But like I could definitely see if like maybe someone who, maybe like 10 years older than we are, like I think they would be like, oh my god, I haven't thought about this character in years.
There were cards from Cheers and Happy Days, and I was like, this isn't for us.
Yeah. Like I could see it being a real nostalgic play.
Yeah. We did look at all of the cards after the game ended, and I think, no disrespect to you, the viewers, we had the worst cards ever.
Yeah, but I think that's what also made it creative. Like, you had to deal with what you had, you know?
So let's get into it. Our first category is box fit. This is the box. It's a little guy. It's a simple guy. Out of 10, how would you rank the box fit of everything?
I'm gonna say 8 because it does the job, but also with these games, a lot of times, like, if you play it frequently, sometimes you want to separate out cards, like, oh, these are the cards you already played. I could definitely see, like, the top of the cards kind of moving around all the players, and then you're like, wait, which is the deck that we already used? Which is the one, like, the pre-made deck that we already have?
Yeah.
So, like, if there's a little more separation in between, but that's just me.
I've given this a 6, because the box is just the box. It is a box with a bunch of cards in it. There's no separators. There's no holders. There's 4 stacks of cards in this box. How it stays is its own business.
You don't mess in grown box business.
Yeah. That's really all I have to say. Our next category is the rules. These are the rules. It's a little thing. It's a very self-explanatory game. Out of 10, how would you rank the rules of the game?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But this is also one of those games where, like, I kind of think the fun is, like, the creative element of kind of, like, well, we want to play it this way. Yeah. So it's almost, like, I don't really even see the rules as kind of who need them. Like, so I would say, like, maybe, like, a 6. Because, like, it's straightforward, but I think the most fun you're going to have is when you're like, but what if we do it our little way?
Yeah. I'm going to give this an 8, only because, like, the back is just frequently asked questions for, like, if it happens. It's really just this first page. But it does give you, like, the base ways to play. It loses points in the fact that it's trying too hard to use, like, the Tumblr jargon. Like at the bottom, it has emboldened OTP and One True Pairing in 4 different places, and I'm like, no. It's just the grouping we picked.
Yeah.
But it still explains the 2 game modes we played, which was pick a partner, pick a scenario. And I think it does the job it needs to do to get you started with this game. Which is more than I can say about a lot of, like, other Cards Against Humanity-esque games.
Sure.
Where it's like, we're going to give you a bunch of cards, but we're going to make it really specific on how you have to play.
Or like the one that I always think of when it's that one that seems really fun. I don't even remember the name. It's the one where it's like, what do you meme or whatever, and it's the pictures, and it's like, okay, so what are we matching to what? Like, it's kind of, yeah, but yeah, that's fair.
Our next category is simply gameplay. You won. We just played this game moments ago. Out of 10, how'd you like the gameplay of it?
I think it was, like, pretty intuitive. Like I said before, it's pretty simple. I mean, I think it's like a 9. Like, I think if you get the cards that you know, and you know everyone at the table knows, like, it's, like, super fun. But, like, when you, like, have to go through and keep cycling through cards, being like, I have no idea what this person was. I have no idea who this person was. It just gets annoying. But then I kind of like how we did it, where it was like, when you're ready, you kind of get in your batter's box, and you're like, I'm excited, I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think that adds to, like, when you get that light bulb click moment, you're like, I got this. I know exactly what I'm doing.
I think I'm also going to give it a 9. It is a very, like, it is a game that you can play as long as you want.
Mhm.
Like, we did not play to points. We played rounds, but you could if we were more stretched for time, we could have been like, okay, first to 10 points done, and that would have made the difference because I believe you won the last round, didn't you? Or did Jordan win the last round?
Jordan won.
Jordan did. So no, nothing would have changed. You would have just won, I think, 2 rounds quicker.
It would have been more stakes though.
Yeah.
Well, it would have lacked stakes. This made the stakes.
Yes. It is a fun, simple game. I think, yeah, the only problem is really that we are slightly behind the age group this was intended for. This next category, simply out of 5, it's short-term replayability. We just finished playing. Do you want to play again?
I think you could just keep going for a really long time with this. I think it kind of because the problem with games like this, I'm going to say a 5. Like the problem with games like this, when it's too formulaic, it's like, okay, yeah, we're just waiting for the cards that everyone likes. But like with something like this, and it's like you really have a lot of like agency, especially when you set up the scenes. Like I think that adds a lot to it. You could keep going for a really long time.
This is one where like. I think I talked about it with either Crow or Tyler a couple months ago. Like, there are games that get tiring the more you play them. This is a game where I think it's kind of hard to get tired of it because there's a lot of replayability. The odds of getting that My Little Pony with Sub-Zero ever again are astronomically high. Like, you can play this until you're bored, and then I think if you came back to it, which in turn will bring us into long-term replayability, it's not going to be like, well, I already kind of know all the cards. It's going to be like, okay, it's not about the cards, it's about the pairings you can make.
Right.
So, in short, my long-term replayability is also going to be like a 4 out of 5. There are other games I probably want to play more, but this is still top up there.
I think I'm gonna hit it the 5 for long-term replayability just because like. Yeah, like I could see playing this every week for an extended amount of time, and then still being like, oh, I remember that one time we got that crazy pairing. And
seeing Margaret Thatcher, like, can somebody pull a Ronald Reagan?
Right, exactly. Like, and I think that's exciting too, because even if you get the same card, you're like, oh, last time this card, I got exactly as a hit crazy, but I know other people have other things this can work for.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think I'm going to bump it up to a 5. I think I'm going to keep it 4, but that is a very good point. Our final category, as it always is your objective out of 10. How did you like this?
I think, on the whole, I'm going to say a 9. Like I said, like if I knew more of the cards, which again just comes down to a bit of luck of the draw, I think it would be like super fun. It already was fun, even with only knowing a couple of the cards.
Yeah.
Not a couple, knowing like 60% of the cards. So I'm going to say 9. I think it was a great time.
Okay. I'm going to give this an 8. Same thing. Like it's a very fun game. There's just a few tweaks that could be made to bring it up to a 10, but it's not its fault. I won't blame him.
It's okay. You can't control when you were made.
Yeah. With that, I finally figured out how to auto-add the score so I can get these immediately. I have given this score a 40 out of 50. Pretty good. You have given this, out of 50, 42 points.
That sounds about right.
Very I knew this would kind of happen. I think last month also, the champion gave it a higher score. Fortunately won, but ultimately we're also trying to find better games for everybody.
Yeah.
And this is a really fun game. I haven't looked into it. I'd love to see if there's a newer print that's come out than this. I got this in college I was renting an apartment, and the guy who was leaving the apartment was like, I know you like board games. Do you want any of these? And I think he gave me this and One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and I was like, oh my god, that's a free $40.
In this economy, when I'm a broke college student, I'll take anything for free.
But it's been fun. Before we sign off, is there anything you want to say? As champion, as Owen, as a smut connoisseur?
I think I'm just gonna say, it feels right to win it on the /fic game. That's what it feels right, and that's all I have.
This has been Post Match. We will see you guys next week for Wild Card Week. See you later.